This is what CSRI CBRI's webinar series 16, which is on energy efficient building technologies for hot and cold climate. So with respect to this particular theme, I am going to present on the temperature monitoring for building and the thermal comfort, which talks about the performance of the energy efficient building materials which are presently being used in the prefabricated structure, and also the usage of this particular temperature monitoring in order to find out what is the heat gain which is coming inside the building, and what is the thermal comfort which to the occupants. So with this brief introduction about the topic, I will straight away start my presentation. So this is what outline of my presentation, that is the steady and unsteady heat flow through buildings, thermal admittance and decrement factor, mean temperature in the space, fluctuating heat gains and internal temperature. And then I'm going to present the case study where the temperature monitoring and thermal comfort monitoring which is done. So start with the introduction. As we know, the heat transfer which is occurs generally through the conduction, convection and the radiation. As we are aware, that is the conduction which is occur in the solid thing. That is what the heat transfer by the conduction, which involves the transfer of energy within the material without any motion of the material as whole. Whereas in case of your convection, there is a mass of motion of the fluids such as air or water, where the heated fluid after getting heated it is moves. For example, if in case of the water, if it is heating, then after water is heated, water moves up, and then the topmost water, that cold water which comes below that one. So it is here the convection that is occur through the mass of motion. Similarly, which is in case of the air also, in particularly in our indoor room, where we can see the hot air always circulate within the room space as well. So if we go to the equations that we know, the principle, that is V by T is equal to NR divided by P, which is constant. So with this we can find out what is that heat transfer is there through the convection. The another phenomena, that is the radiation thing. The radiation is the heat transfer by the emission of the electromagnetic waves which carry energy away from the emitting objects, and that is what, wherever there is a the fire, we feel there is a heat which is transferring from that particular location to us. So with this, all these particular heat transfer phenomena which take place in the building through the different medias. There may be conduction through the building envelope, that is what, because of the solar radiation, the building envelope get heated, and that heat is transferred through the conduction process inside the room. Whereas through the convection, such as the windows, the openable windows, through this the heated air which comes in. Otherwise, in case of the cold, the whatever the heat is there which may go outside. Then through the radiation, that is what, if any equipment is there, any heater is there, or because of maybe solar radiation which falls on some kind of transparent or the this metal bodies, through that also we can feel some kind of heat which is coming through the radiation or any equipment. So there is, apart from this, there is another phenomena, that is through the human thing also, which is because of the metabolic activities, human body also generate heat. So if we list out this particular heat flows, then heat flow, that is QS through the solar radiation, QC through the conduction, QV that is through the ventilation, QI that is generated through the body, and QE that is heat evaporation or the emission during the night. But the heat transfer which takes through the, particularly if we talk the major heat which is comes from this conduction, and which is not a steady state, that is an unsteady state, the heat flow through the building envelope. So in case of this steady state, we consider that temperature is constant at any time, but that is not true, because outside temperature which is moving, that is in case of, if you plot the outside temperature, you may find this kind of sinusoidal waves, and whereas inside temperature, if you plot, you may see this kind of temperature variations throughout the day. That means this is a non-steady state wherein unsteady analysis we need to carry. So the temperature at any location in the region changes with respect to time. So at this particular, maybe 8 o'clock, there may be outside temperature different, maybe 10 o'clock that is different, 12 o'clock that is different. So there is also variation with respect to the temperature. There is a variation with the time lag, which depends on the which type of building envelope it is. So if we find out the how we can able to find out the what is the heat flow or the heat gain which is there through the building envelopes, there is a steady state with which we can able to get the value. If we get the value of U, through which we can able to find out easily what is the heat gain. But that is a steady state which doesn't count the unsteady portion. So for that purpose, the unsteady, that is nothing but the dynamic thing. For that, there are some methods are available, such as response functions method are there, that is time domain or frequency domain, or some numerical methods are also there, that is finite difference, finite element, boundary element. So some kind of softwares which are generally deals with the numerical kind of equations. Through the numerical equations, we can able to find out the heat flow of a particular building with respect to any climatic condition. So before going to the particular topic, there are some terminology we need to understand with respect to the heat gain. So first most property which is important, that is the conductivity K, which tells about the what is the heat flow across the unit area of the material for unit thickness with the unit temperature difference between the opposite side. So that unit is watts per meter Kelvin. That means the conductivity of material which talks the how much heat flow is there through that particular body. So it tells the property, physical property of that particular material in terms of conductivity. Whereas the specific heat, that is also again a property of a material where amount of energy required to raise the temperature of 1 kg substances or mass of that body with respect to 1 degree increase in the temperature. The resistivity, we talk in terms of resistance, that is resisting some kind of building envelope or resisting the heat. So that is nothing but it is a reciprocal of the conductivity, that is 1 by K. The unit is meter Kelvin per watt. Whereas the conductance, it is what the dividing the conductivity of the material by the thickness of the object. So if we want to talk the particular overall property of a building envelope, because building envelope doesn't consist a single material, which is a combination of material. If you consider the conventional brick as a wall, there also their outside plaster is there, inside plaster is there. So whole assembly, it is a combination of 3 particular layers. So if we cannot talk in terms of conductivity. So for that, there is another phenomena with which we can able to find out that heat flow, that is what the thermal transmitters, which is similar to conductance, but which also takes account the surfaces, that means different layers, and also the airspace. If any particular envelope which consists a airspace, that also taken care in case of the thermal transmitters. So for this particular, in order to find out the heat gain, we generally calculate in case of the steady state with respect to the thermal transmittance. So if we want to find out the what is that particular, how we can able to find out that steady state. So if we consider a simple one-dimensional problem, then in that case, this is what your wall component, where is from the one side heat is flowing in, T0 is the temperature which is outside, T1 is the temperature inside. As the temperature outside is more, so whatever the heat is there, that passes through the higher side to the lower side, and which if we consider that is passing through this one. So in case of steady state, if constant temperature is there, obviously we may get the linear thing. So how we can get this? So we can see the basic equation, that is Fourier's-Poet's equation, that is with respect to 3-dimension things x, y, and z. With respect to the heat generation, if we also consider in account, then that all equals to the 1 divided by alpha into delta T divided by the time, that is the temperature. It is a response of the temperature with respect to the time. If we consider this as a one-dimensional problem, then delta T divided by delta T, small t, which equals to 0, and we consider if there is a no heat generation, then we are going with the only one dimension problem, that is d2t by dx square is equal to 0. That means we are not considering y also and z direction also. Then if we integrate this equation, we get the one constant. Again, we integrate the second constant, and if you try to find out the constant values by putting the boundary condition, that is what at x is equal to 0. That means at the outer layer T temperature is we consider as a T naught, that is outside temperature, and at x equal to L, L is nothing but the thickness of the envelope. With respect to that, T may be T1. So if we put this boundary condition into that particular equation, we get this particular equation. That is, after solving this, we get T is equal to T1 minus T naught divided by L into x plus T naught. So that means if we look into this particular equation, this equation tells that the temperature distribution across the wall, which is linear, because here there is no second order function is there. This is what the linear flow is there. And also if we see, the temperature distribution is independent of the K value. So from the Fourier law of heat conduction, we have that is heat flow is equal to minus K into A into delta T by delta X, if you consider one dimension. And if you put this particular the value of your T into this particular equation, then after solving this equation, your the final equation looked like Q is equal to, that is the heat gain, which equals to minus A into U in bracket T1 minus T naught. That means here minus sign, that tells that heat is which is coming inside. So because we have considered that outside temperature is more, so that is with respect to this minus sign, which is heat is coming inside. So this is what a simple equation with which we can able to find out the heat flow through wall with respect to steady state. So as we know, the U value, that is thermal transmittance, which depends on the thickness of the envelope with respect to different layers, as well as with respect to the thermal conductivity property. So if there are number of layers are there inside that one, then with respect to the heat gain, the equation becomes, because as we know, whatever the heat enters at this particular location, similar thing which will take to the next layer. That means your total Q is equal to K1. That means particular property of first layer, that is K1 conductivity into A is the cross section area for this particular thing or the surface. Then in that case, T1 minus T2, that is T1 is outside, T2 is the temperature at this particular point, divided by L1, which gives the Q is the amount of heat. For the second layer also same thing, because all this heat is coming from one direction, we are not considering unsteady part. So that means K1 A into this component is equals to this another up to nth layer. And if you simplify this equation, if we find out this equation, again we can simplify, then at the last we can get this particular equation wherein the Q is equal to A into U. That means 1 divided by R is the resistance here, then U into T1 minus T naught. That means outside surface temperature to the innermost layer surface temperature. With this, we can able to find out the temperature. So this is what with respect to this equation, if you solve this, we can get this particular simple equation, and delta T is nothing but that is the difference in the outside to the inside temperature. But there is another two phenomena that also we need to consider, that is what the surface heat transfer coefficient. Because generally, if any material is there, in case of the plaster is there which is of the smooth surface, then there may be some resistance. If that surface is rough one, if that kind of finishing is there, then in that case the surface heat transfer coefficient plays an important role. Because if the surface outer mode, if it is a rough area, then in that case surface area increases, then what is the heat flow which is taking place in case of the plain body or the finished body, which is different than this. So for this particular, in order to simplify, there are some values which are given in the SP41 with respect to outside surface coefficient and the inside surface coefficient. So with which we can take that information and we can able to find out the heat gain, or we can able to find out the thermal transmittance value. So this is what because wall, it is a combination of different areas. With respect to this, we can able to take, if the one particular area is of different nature, another is of different nature, then with this we can able to find out. So if we see the particularly graph of the outside temperature with respect to inside temperature, then we can see even though outside temperature going up to one certain peak, that doesn't reflect inside, because whatever our envelope is there, that is avoiding, that is resisting against that particular heat to come in. So if we see This is what particular a graph of 24 hours day time, which can tell this is what the temperature profile, and this particular blue line which tells the inside temperature profile. So if we take the mean of this one, we can get a mean line one here, and above this one, whatever this particular component is there, that we call as a fluctuation component. So the outside air temperature T, which depends on the mean plus the fluctuation. So we have to deal this particular heat temperature difference or the temperature phenomena for the 24 hours in a periodic nature. So we should know what is the particular periodic nature of this particular temperature profile. So for this there are some periodic functions that we need to use. So with respect to that periodic functions, we can able to match that particular harmonic motion of this temperature, and then through that equations we can able to solve the temperature gain. So another phenomena which is taking place, because if we talk the body, that may be a non-opaque and opaque body. In case of the opaque body, where the solar radiation which is directly coming inside the building, so in that case, you are, for the particular unit area, the heat absorbed by the surface is equal to alpha into the I, where alpha is the absorptivity of surface and I is the total solar radiation which is striking on that particular surface. So but the here, in order to find out that one, there we need to understand that after if the surface temperature, in case of the steady state temperature, if it is reaching to a steady state, then in that case that temperature we call it as a equivalent temperature, and through that we can able to after that one there is a temperature dissipation. So whatever the heat is absorbed, that is getting heat dissipated. So alpha is nothing but H naught into a bracket of the external equivalent temperature to the minus the outside air temperature. So with this, if we solve this equation, then we can get this particular another one temperature term. That term is nothing but the sole air temperature. That is what TOE is equal to this air temperature plus this particular component we need to consider, where H naught is the heat transfer coefficient. So if we see this particular profile, in case of if there is a steady state, then there may be a profile like this. But as the temperature is not a steady state phenomena, outside temperature, during the unsteady, there we may find the gradient. So that gradient you can see here through these particular images. So temperature within the system does not vary with time. This is the case one, but due to the heat storage capacity of the material, unsteady flow also take place. It is not the unsteady temperature profile, but there is an unsteady flow pattern also take place. So if we see, in case of unsteady thing, if we consider that one, so lightweight material performs, lightweight building envelope performs in a different way than the heavy wall. In case of light wall, there may be storage capacity which may be less, but in case of a heavy wall, there's storage capacity, heat storage capacity which is more. So that's why we may find the temperature difference in case of the heavy wall building envelope than the light wall envelope. And there is also one term which is associated with this. So if we consider that term, that is a time lag term, where outside temperature at maybe 12 o'clock, that may be at the peak, but the inside temperature, that peak we may find at maybe 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. So there is a time lag with respect to the two peaks, whatever the outside peak to the inside peak. So that term is called as a time lag, and that we can able to find out with this particular equations with respect to the time period of 24 hours. P is here considered as a time period. So with this also we can able to find out decrement factor, which is more effective in the envelope at the suppressing the temperature swing. So if the decrement factor is more, then that is the better thing for the building envelope. So as I mentioned, the thermal mass, which plays an important role, because if the heavy mass is there, the solar passive house designs which describe the material to have ability to absorb the more and store the heat, but it should not store more than 12 hours. That means if the time lag is more than 12 hours, then in that case, whatever the store heat is there, that doesn't go outside, that doesn't get disseminated, but the next day, whatever the heat is there, that again joins hand together with the stored heat, and again it will heat. So that's why we have to find a building envelope in a such way that the time lag should be optimum. So it should be as more, but not more than the 12 hours. So in case of these particular solar efficient homes, where the thermal mass, in order to remain warm overnight because of the thermal mass, and through the period of the cold winter also, we can get the warmer air in that particular house. So such houses are concrete, bricks, tiles require a great deal to the heat energy to change their temperature, and therefore the said to have a high thermal mass. But in case of the concrete also, that will store. But again, we have to deal with the time lag factor. So we cannot only depend on the thermal mass, heavy thermal mass, but we have to go with the some insulating material as well. So your envelope should be a giant it is a combination, it is a composite material of both your solid material as well as insulating material. So lightweight material in the other side, such as timber, have low thermal masses. But if we use that low thermal masses with insulations, we can get the thermal comfort inside the building. So the thermal performance, which again depends on the opaque surfaces, which also we have to take into account, not only the conduction through the solid envelope non-opaque body, but also opaque body we have to consider. So there is a possibility of that one, some radiation which is coming through the the solar radiation. Again, through the reflected surfaces, we can get the long wave solar radiation, and that also we need to take into account for the calculation of the heat gain. So the sequence of layers does not influence the steady state flow. As we have known, there is a, even though there are, if we consider the steady state thing, but the flow will be linear, because it is fluctuating thing is not considered here. So if you want to find out the particular behavior of this temperature, then we have to go with the sum of sine or cosine functions, and these functions we have to get solved with the Fourier series or the Taylor series of expansion. So if we see, there may be chances of that one. If we want to match this particular harmonic motion of this temperature profile, we have to go with first harmonic thing, we have to go with the second thing, then after the some iterations, we can able to match this line. So there may be possibility we have to go with the 4 or 5 harmonic motions we have to consider. In case of the start with p, we can consider as a 2 pi. Then for the second harmonic, we can reduce that one, p we can consider as a pi. With respect to that, we can able to match this line, whatever the outside temperature profile. And for this particular thing only, we have to deal in a 2 ways. That what we have to consider this particular temperature profile. One, we have to consider as a mean temperature, and then whatever the above part is there, that we have to consider as a fluctuating part. So here, if you want to find out that particular temperature, so T, that is nothing but the mean plus the fluctuating component of this, and that can be solved with the cosine of the sine functions. Here we have considered the function, that one, and with this we can able to, if we put this p as a 2 pi, and if you solve this, we can able to find out the particular the temperature profile with respect to this particular equation. That is, this equation nothing but it tells the temperature profile of outdoor temperature profile. So here we have to use these constants, and we have to find out a constant as well as b constant. I will not go in detail with respect to the equations. I will quickly go through the equations. We have to solve that equations, and we have to find out the values. So this is what, after the solution, we can able to find out these values. A, J, we can able to get with this. B, J, we can able to get this. And if we put this, then we can get that particular harmonic motions, and then we have to match it with harmonic motion. So at the start with, you can consider as a 2 pi, then pi, then maybe third. Again, you can reduce to that one, and with that, we can able to get that one. So this is what a similar thing which we have to do with the soil air temperature as well. So as we have seen that in case of the steady heat flow, that Q is equal to UA into delta T. But in case of the unsteady thing, we have to deal with, not only we have to deal with the dimension, also we have to deal with the time period also, not only space, with respect to time period also. So again, if we take the basic equation with respect to that, we have to solve this equation in order to go through the to find out the unsteady heat flow through the walls. So that is what this equation, if you consider Q in minus Q out through the unit area in one dimension situation, is the rate at which heat is stored in one as a thickness we have considered D into volume. So if we put these values into that, then if you solve this with respect to time and space by putting the diffusivity, again diffusivity is nothing but K by your density divided by specific heat. So if you solve this, because this is a we have to deal with the two things here, temperature function of time and space, then we have to go with the second order differential equations. And in order to do this, there are so many numerical techniques are available, and with respect to that we can do that one. So that is a finite difference method, finite element method, finite volumetric method. So our frequency domain solution here in this particular particular presentation, I have used that means I have presenting on the frequency domain solution, which is done with the Laplace transformation. So that is what, in order to find out that unsteady heat flow, the Laplace function is used. And again, here Laplace function also we need to solve with the whatever the initial conditions that we have at T is equal to 0, temperature is a function of X and 0, that is equal to 0, and at L, and after the maybe the inside one, L is equal to is a function of X and T is equal to theta. And if you put these particular things into the equations, and if you solve this equation, then we can able to get the values of this theta, this obtained theta, and which with respect to this ordinary differential equation. And if you put this, we have to solve this equation, and this is what we know as a general solution. In case of the Laplace, we have to go with this particular equation, and if you solve this equation with respect to X and boundary condition, we can get the, after that one we can get, I will quickly go through equations. These are not required at present here, so I will go straight away to the output. Then after that one we can able to get that particular transformation matrix. So for the air also we can put the thermal capacity of the air as well, and with these particular equations we can take another term here as a infinity, and with respect to that we can able to solve equations, and we can find out that transformation matrix, that is for the air, which is equal to 1 divided by 0 minus 1 divided by h into 1. So if we, in case of the solid thing, here your transform that particular matrix is look like this. So there are different layers which are there in the particular building. So you have to consider each, for the each layer you have to consider one transformation matrix. Again for the second layer, second matrix. So like that we can able to put this the transformation matrix. Then we can able to find out the, with respect to the outside temperature, what is that inside temperature is. So this is what again, if we simplify by using some again constant values, that is S is equal to I omega. So in that case we can put this, and again we can simplify with respect to the coefficient, and at last we can get this particular transmission matrix, which talks about the all the temperature and heat fluxes are multiplied in a component of pi e raised to I omega t, I omega and comma t, and but for this we need to understand we need to give the some other inputs as well. So this is what that particular transformation matrix, and this is what T and Q is nothing but the heat fluxes. So it depends on the temperature as well as heat fluxes. So out of this one, if you know three things, we can able to find out. If you know two things, we can able to find out with respect to equation. We can able to find out the inside temperature. So again, to simplify this, if we put that one, then after that one we can get in order to find out this M1, M11, M22, and again M12 and M21. So if you solve this, we can able to get this particular equations. So at the last we can see that is ABCD. ABCD is again nothing but ABCD. We can able to find out with respect to this M11, that is ABCD, like this. So this particular transformation matrix which is used and through which we can able to get a factor, that is a admittance factor, which is defined as the amount of energy which is entering to the surface for the each degree of the temperature swing. Because we should know that if the temperature which is increasing by 1 degree outside, then what is that particular temperature, because of that swing is there, what is that energy which is entering inside the room. So this particular factor which is used in order to calculate the temperature, the swing temperature inside the building. So this is what the symbolic representation, which is with respect to the space, that is thickness, with respect to the time. And Qi will be found by the decrement factor and utilize here to find the internal room temperature. That means we can able to find out the internal temperature by knowing this particular admittance factor. So this is what this particular equation is. Again, it is simplified. So the another particular, in case of the, to simplify again, the frequency domain response factor, again, there is another factor, that is a decremental response factor, which is defined as a ratio of the cyclic flux transmission. Again, here flux transmission is also cyclic, that again depends on the outside temperature profile. So to the steady state profile or the temperature, again, there is a decrement factor which is there, and this decrement factor again, which is come through that equation only. So if it is applied to the fluctuation about the mean, the external temperature and flux harmonics impinging on the exposed opaque surface undergoing transit heat transfer. So this is what that particular simplified equations are there. So based on this one, we have written a MATLAB program, and with respect to that MATLAB program, we can, for any particular building envelope, we can able to find out what is the admittance factor and the transmittance factor, and through which we can able to find out what is the temperature gain which is there inside that one. So apart from the conduction, there are some other things are also there. That is what the ventilation heat, that also we need to consider. I will not touch these equations, but in general, we can able to find out that ventilation exchange is QCV is equal to 1/3 NV NVRT. So the third one, through the apart from this convection, there is a radiation also there. So radiation, that is through the opaque body, that again depends on the I is the intensity of solar radiation, A, and W is the your area, window area, AW, and theta is the solar gain factor. And if the whatever, if your windows are whole open, you can consider one as a that factor. If it is partially, then with respect to that, the whatever the gain factor can be considered. So these are the three things. But apart from this, there is a causal heat gain. If any human being which is there inside that particular space, then we have to consider that also. So at last, your mean temperature in the space, we can able to find out, or with respect to this particular thing, that is conduction through conduction, the simplified equation, that is UA. J is given because different layers, J is given. So UA, the external minus internal, with this we can able to find out for this particular this particular heat gain. So here in case of the opaque body, apart from this whatever the your surface through your normal temperature gain is there, but there is a, because of the solar excess temperature that is involved. So with respect to that, this is the additional factor that we need to consider, so that we can able to get that particular total heat gain. So here QRQCS is your heat gain factor, and the through the ventilation CD, it is heat loss factor. So if we consider in case of the cold countries, where in case of the hot countries, maybe all together conduction, that is also all together it is a gain only. So the mean temperature in the space, that we can able to find out with this particular equation, and we can able to take an example with respect to if any room is of size 6x5x3, and provided the other dimension, that is whatever the glazed window size is 4.5 to 2 meters south, and the mean internal temperature, that is also that needs to be calculated, provided the outside temperature is the 17 degrees centigrade with global irradiation which is exposed on the south side wall. It is 180 watts per meter square with alpha as a function, and H0 is the heat transfer, surface heat transfer coefficient, and with the U values we can able to find out that internal temperature. So there is another thing is also there, because air changes are also there. So through that air change also there is some heat which is coming inside. So that factors are given. So if you put this value, as we know the volume of the room is this particular 90 meter square, and the area of window is this area of through the wall, because we are considering particular one wall, that is south side wall, and out of this one total area the window area is deducted, and we can find out mean heat gain through wall. That is what this particular 9 meter square is through the wall area, and mean heat gain through the windows, that is what we can able to find out with respect to, that is the direct solar radiation here. A into I is nothing but the direct solar radiation. So through the conduction we are getting 50, through the direct radiation which is coming inside, that is this is for the wall, this is for the window, that is 1 2 3 1. So and through the, if we find out that ventilation thing, and if we put that values, we can get 60 watts as a entry. So altogether which is a heat gain which is coming in, and if you put all this in order to find out the internal temperature TR, that is nothing but it is a average of your outdoor temperature whatever plus whatever your the heat gain divided by thermal transmitter A plus CV. So altogether we can able to find out the internal temperature is 27.9 degrees centigrade. So this is what that equation is. But there is another part also we need to deal. Till now we have dealt with the mean part only, but there is a fluctuating part also that we need to consider. So that swing we have to deal in a separate way. So in that case we have to consider that whatever the fluctuating is there, through that also there is a heat entry. So I will not go in detail with this equation. Straight away I will go through the case studies, that what we have done and what is the use of that particular case study, how we can able to do the thermal performance assessment and real-time temperature measurements. So this is what the just a summary about the thermal admittance, why it is necessary, why it is important. So thermal transmittance is a steady state property, whereas this thermal admittance which measure the ability of the thermal mass, and also it will use in order to find out the unsteady flow. So so this is what again a recap of this particular summary of the whatever the I have presented. So to reduce the cooling loads, thermal transmittance should be as low as possible, and thermal admittance should be as high as possible, because thermal admittance, it depends on the thermal mass property. Thermal admittance, it is a measure of thermal mass property. So this is what up to the admittance mark, and I will come to the thermal comfort. So particularly I will go through the thermal comfort indices which are given in our particularly SP41. So as per as SP41 and National Building Code 2016 concern, there are two thermal indices are given. One is the effective temperature, another is the tropical summer index, TSI. So apart from that, the adaptive thermal comfort, that index is also which is introduced in NBC 2016. So the TSI particular which is developed at the CBRI. So and that that is based on the opinion of the people, which is based on the control environmental conditions which is made, and the opinion is taken, and the real the comfort indices which is added with the opinion as well as with the temperature measurements. So this is what which is given in the psychometric chart of SP41, where we can able to see the particular human being with respect to tropical summer index. This is what the tropical summer index, and this is what the percentage of the dissatisfaction. So this particular area is considered as a thermal comfort, and above this it is the warm, below this it is a cold one. So that is given, but which is given in terms of degree centigrade temperature. Whereas there are, apart from this, there are some ASHRAE and ISO certified some thermal comfort indices are there. That is the predictive mean vote is there, PME is there, that are very famous. Predictive mean vote and the PPT. So my colleague Dr. Anuj Kumar, he has presented with respect to the particularly the usage of that PME in order to find out the energy consumption or find out the energy consumption in the residential building. So, particular coming to the particular case study, temperature monitoring in the building. So here I am presenting two case studies where the one case study which talks about the thermal performance evaluation which is done with the our tropical summer index thing TSI with respect to brick and AAC wall. So in order to do that, we have in our CBRI the facilities available in order to monitor and find out the thermal performance of the any building envelope. For that, some models are available. So with respect to real-time measurements, these are the equipments are required. So through which we can able to find out. So these are the prototype models which are used for the experimentation purpose only. So one which is done with the brick wall, another which is with the AAC wall, and the temperature monitoring is done with respect to the tropical summer index. And for this, as we know, the U value which depends on the conductivity and the thickness of the layers, but there are some of the cases where real-time U value measurement also required, and for this we have some equipments also with some sensors also we can able to find out that one. So wherein we have to measure the what is the heat flux which is there, and we have to measure, if you measure the outside and inside temperature, then we can able to find out with respect to that what is the U value. So this is what we have done for that particular building, and for the particularly the AAC block that is used in that particular building, the calculated which value and real-time value which are different in the actual, because see the particularly for the U value calculations, what we consider the thermal conductivity of particular material, but the wall which is made up of maybe cement mortar plus the additional blocks. So on reality the thickness is different. On reality, what is that particular U value that we need to measure? So that we have measured here, and that are used for in order to find out the thermal comfort condition, also that are used in order to find out the heat gains. So this is what the tropical summer index measurements that we have done. One is the tropical summer index, which is for the outside condition, which is done, and the another two, which is in case of the brick construction wall, and another in case of the your AAC wall. So only one thing I would like to here focus, that is what outside, which is a not a good condition indices, but as compared to that, but if we see the inside in the AAC block, we are feeling little bit. This is what measurement which is done in the month of January, where cold is there. So in case of the cold, also the brick construction, brick constructed model, which is again giving less temperature, that is TSI, which is less than the aerated block. That means AAC block, which is performing in a better way than the brick wall because of the thermal conductivity. That is the one reason. Whatever the heat flow is there or the heat loss is there, that is not there in case of this particular building. So if you see these particular graphs with respect to the February or the March, you can see the performance of the AAC block is good than the brick one. So another temperature monitoring which is done in the building, where in our construction technology part there are some prefabricated structures which are demonstrated. So in order to find out the structural this thermal comfort monitoring of that structures, we have demonstrated. We have measured the temperature monitoring, and we have find out the how best these prefabricated structures looking into the climatic condition of the India. So this is what one particular building we have selected, which is a prefabricated RC structure building, and these are the views of that particular building, which is from the south view. This particular view is the south view. This particular side is a east side, west side, and back side of this one, it is a west side. So these are the four views of that building is there. In this building, the whatever the structure, frame structure, which is a prefabricated RC element, and whereas the walling assembly, which is made up of AAC block, which is having this dimension, whereas the wall thickness is 150 with the 18 mm as the outside plaster, whereas the inside, which is done with the wall care putty. And whereas the brick generally, if you consider the brick, that is 230, which may have the thermal transmittance value. If we find out the brick thermal conductivity, then if you calculate, it comes to 2.17, whereas in case of AC, that comes 0.62, that is the in terms of thermal transmittance value, these AC blocks are better, that is 3.5 times better than this. So here, in order to monitor this temperature, we have used this IoT based the data acquisition system, so which can able to measure that data, and which can able to download it or view it through the remote location. So this is what the ground floor and first floor. In the ground floor there are two rooms are there, and on the first floor there is one room is there. So for these three particular rooms, the thermal comfort analysis is made, thermal comfort measurements has been done, and if you see this is what which is located in our Roorkee CSRI CBRI campus. So this is what the latitude longitude, and if you see the solar chart of this particular Roorkee, we can see this is what in the month of your peak summer, the solar which is near to building, or which is giving more solar radiation, so than this particular in the December month. So this is what the sun path diagram. So for this particular temperature monitor, this is what IoT enabled real time temperature monitoring system which is installed, and for this there are some the temperature readers and SARS thermometers are used, and the washer based RTD sensors which are used in order to monitor the temperature. And before using this particular sensors, we need to calibrate, and that is calibrate and some correction factor which is we have taken into consider, and these are the monitoring system some specifications. So then after monitoring the temperature, we need to find out their performances in terms of different factors. That is, one is the thermal damping. So thermal damping is nothing but the characteristic depends on the thermal resistance of that particular material, which generally gives, we can able to find out with respect to the outside surface temperature minus inside surface temperature divided by outside surface temperature into urban 100. If you do, then it will give in terms of percentage. So so this particular thermal damping, which materials which are high density and high specific heat, which can give the higher thermal damping. So thermal damping is required. That means which will resist the heat to enter inside, or it in other words, which doesn't allow heat to go out. So that is what one factor. There is another factor which is also again this given by the CBRI, and that is the thermal performance index, that is TPI, wherein TPI, which is considered as a 30 degrees centigrade, which is considered as a mean temperature, and whereas 8 degrees centigrade, that is which is considered as the difference to the peak temperature, that 8 is considered, and with respect to that all the assemblies we can able to find out their performance index in terms of TPI. So it depends on the total heat gain through the building sections, both by the steady and the periodic part, and it is a function of the outside surface temperature. So coming to again to the measurements, as I have mentioned, in this particular building, we have demonstrated almost 30 sensors, and we have taken the measurements. We have put the sensors to the east facing wall. We have placed some sensors on the north side. We have placed some sensors on the west side. We have placed some sensors on the south side. Whereas in case of the first floor also, we have done same thing. We have taken for all these faces, and also we have put some sensors on the roof in order to find out what is the heat gain is there through the roof system. So if we discuss about the results, so you can see this is what with respect to surface temperature observations of the AC wall on particular 23rd October, whereas it is not a peak summer, it is not a peak cold, it is a comfort temperature condition, where we can see if you see this one with this the orientation of the building with respect to that, if you can see, then on the south side facing walls, which are subjected to more temperature than the ambient temperature also, because it is a surface temperature, whereas in case of north or maybe internal temperatures are less than with this. Whereas if you consider with respect to the west side, because whatever during the daytime sun path is like this, so in that case, your south side wall which is subjected to more heat, or which is subjected to solar radiation. So that's why on the other hand, north side, which is not that much, so that's why it is temperature is not there. But during the morning session, you can see in case of the east and west side, the morning session there is a little bit the surface temperature increases there. But if you see the west side, because of the sun path, then the after maybe 12 o'clock, you can see there is a temperature increase on the west side. So with these particular equations, we can see that maximum temperature which is reaches to the 46 degrees centigrade, but as west case, it is reaches to the 50 degrees centigrade. There is another reason why temperature is more here in case of west. And the during the daytime, minimum temperature is observed is 16 degree, whereas in case of this west side, it is 19 degree. And with this, we have find out the what is the time lag is there. For the south side facing wall, the time lag is 5 hours, whereas the north side it is 3 hours. We have to consider this 5 hours because south side, which is subject to solar radiation, and where in case of this, if we consider the west side, the time lag is 3 hours and it is 2.5 hours to the west side. And if we consider for the peak summer, which is on the 16th May, consider, then in that case, the surface temperature, which is more to the south side, but here, if you see the previous graph, here only one phase, that is south side, which is subject to temperature, whereas north side not that much. So, but in case of on the 16th month where peak summer is there, that whatever the solar radiation which is directly or sun path is near to our particular latitude longitude, where if you see the north face as well as south face, there is a peaks are there, whereas inside temperature, which is not peaks are there, or it is almost similar because of this solar path diagram only. And where in case of this, you can see morning east side little bit temperature is there, evening time west side heat is there. So with this, we can able to find out with the steady state, if with thermal transmitted value know, we can able to find out the what is the inside temperature as well as what is the heat gain which is coming in. So this is what you can see this difference through this particular on the October and in the case of the 16th May. So another thing, influence of orientation that we can see here. See here in case of the building which is oriented, the surface of building and surface which is oriented to the north and south, we can see here the peaks which are there on the first floor or the ground floor. You can see only one particular thing, that is south side, we are getting more peaks here than the north side. Here also you can see the particularly south side facing wall getting the peaks. And if you find out TPI, in order to find out TPI, there is a particular equation is there, the TPI, which is find out, that is what I have given, that is inside temperature minus 30 divided by 8 into 100 if you do. So that with that we can able to get the TPI value. So what is the relevance of TPI, that I will come to the after these two slides, I will come talk on that one. So I will finish with the orientation and the influence of the roof. Also, if we consider roof also, you can see the temperature increase, which is more in case of the roof as compared to the wall. Whereas the wall, if you see 45 degrees centigrade, but in case of the roof, the temperature is more. Even in case of the May time, the temperature rose to 69 degrees centigrade as well. And looking into this, if you see the thermal performance, which is 137, and as per as the SP40 one concern, that we can prescribe in the class C condition. Whereas shading also plays a major role here, as with respect to our building, the first floor, if you see this particular orientation with respect to that, there is a shading factor also plays an important role here. If you see the east side at the room 3, the temperature is there, whereas if you see the sensors we have put on the south side only, but which is near to the other side, staircase side. So where we can see the temperature increase is not that much because of the shading devices. See here, after maybe evening time, because of the shading, this temperature, where this is east side of the R3 and this is staircase side, because of the room the shadow which is which is decreasing temperature at this particular time period. So this is what a summary of the whatever the measurements we have taken throughout the year, and this is what we can see that maximum temperature and the minimum temperature at the comfortable climate and the during the peak cold and during the peak uh, summer, we can see the difference, and the time lag also here, and the decrement factors are there. So you can see here the surface temperature here in case of summer it is reaching to 61, and whereas in case of the winter it is coming down to the 35 degrees centigrade as well, whereas minimum temperature is 10. In case of the summer, the inside minimum temperature, because obviously this temperature is inside only, minimum is there, so it is 29 degrees centigrade. So if we see the south side and north side wall envelopes, and if we with respect to whatever temperature monitoring we have done, with that we can able to find out the TPI, and as per as the particular code concerned, the for the non-air conditioned building TPI performances with respect to this is given. If it is less than 75 TPI, then it is quality performance is considered as a good one, and if it is more than 225, which is extremely poor. So if we classify this one, we can see that the performance of the particular thing in the month of October it is good, and in case of your summer also AEC blocks which are good, then the maybe the temperature where difference is not there, it is fair or poor in case of the winter as well, as per the SP41. So this particular, if you know this TPI, because in this particular codes we have some TPI values which are given for this particular brick or the RCC thing, but for the newer material constructions, energy efficient material technologies, where TPI values are not there. So we are working on that one. So these TPI values we can able to use in order to find out that peak heat gain, and if you able to get that peak heat gain, with respect to that we can able to design our energy efficient technologies in order to cool that building. So even though we are going with the passive strategies, but there are some cases where active things are also we have to use. So these TPI values which help in order to find out that what is the peak heat gain is there through that building. So if you consider east and west side, if you see here during this particular time the performance is not good. The TPI values which are going more than 100. So as per this particular thing, performance is not good. And the February or March AEC block, which is performing better as per as this study concerned. So this is for the roof. In case of roof, the interesting thing is that the roof is made of RCC thing, and if you see during the February March where temperature is not harsh temperature, so in that case here the performance is good. In case of the October also performance is good, because that time harsh climate is not there, but wherever there is a harsh climate, so the performance of this RCC roof which is fair or maybe poor. So apart from this, we have done we have started with some thermal comfort measurements as well. So this is what the graph which shows the PME and PPD measurements for that particular room 1, room 2, and room 3, wherein the predictive mean vote that is prescribed in the ASHRAE 55 as well as ISO 7730, where we can able to see with respect to predictive mean vote the thermal sensation. If the 0 is there, that is neutral, and above 0 which is considered warm, slightly warm to the hot, and whereas the minus concerned, that is slightly cool to the cold. So if we see here the performances of the PME with respect to room 1, room 2, room 3, you can see this is what the PME for your room 3, that is the upper floor, where room 3 predictive mean vote values we can see here. During the daytime it is minus 0.6, whereas in case of the ground floor rooms it is less than -1. The less than -1, or here if you consider at the maybe we can consider at the 12 o'clock or maybe 2 o'clock, where this particular room 3, that is the first floor, we are little bit comfortable, or it is just below the neutral. But whereas this room 2 and room 1 which are at the ground floor, we are may face slightly cool. So that is that shows that because of the whatever the heat gain is there through the roof, we are getting little bit comfortable, or we are getting the thermal sensation as neutral, whereas in case of the room 3 we are not getting. So similarly, if we consider the another PPD, that is the qualitative prediction of the percentage of thermally dissatisfied people. So which is given in terms of the percentage, we can see this kind of measurements where the 40% is dissatisfaction is there during the morning hours or early morning, and in case of the daytime, the percentage of the dissatisfaction which is less 20%. And if you see this outside temperature to the three temperature rooms inside, you can see the outside temperature during the daytime it is going to more than 27 degrees centigrade at this particular 16 December. And if you see these three readings for these three rooms, you can see here there is a one peak is there with respect to room 3, but other two are almost similar, which is at the ground floor, because the solar radiation intensity is not there. So that's why the room 1 and 2 which are performing better. So at last, it is not a conclusion, but it is just a summary kind of thing with respect to the real-time thermal performance of the building monitoring. Monitoring can be done, and the performance can be assessed. And here, whatever the study which are there, which are tells the established guidelines which are in align with the established guidelines. Also, the whatever the new for the newer material, the thermal performance indices we need to find out for that one, so that we can able to find out the heat gains. So in general, if we don't want to go with the simulation things, with that case, during that time, this TPI values which can be used in order to find out that heat load. So AAC thing that we have for AAC block we have done here. So thank you.